so this is gonna be my, I guess, start of some shorter videos of why I went on Lexapro in the first place. Kind of give my background and my story. That way, if you're new or if you're curious, you kind of understand what I've been going through and my journey on this medication. That being said, I'm also going to kind of give some background into some other health issues that I have that worsen and or make this withdrawal process, I think, more uncomfortable than it should be. So in 2019, I was 25, I believe. Yeah, I just had to check because I'm not good at math, but I was 25. I was very depressed and just kind of felt like I wasn't going anywhere in my life. I did not have a boyfriend. I didn't have kids. I was living at home, just working, and I just became very, very depressed. I felt like I didn't have a purpose, and it just really affected my self-confidence and my self-esteem, and I just started kind of spiraling down into depression, which I had never had before. I will say that since I was younger, I've always kind of been a more hyperactive and anxious child. I've always been a perfectionist and would get anxiety over not being perfect. But I've never had depression like I was experiencing in 2019. So I ended up having to go to the ER because my depression was getting really bad and my parents didn't know how to help me, so they suggested I go to the ER. And then from there, I was referred to go see a psychiatrist, and I had never seen a psychiatrist before. The psychiatrist did not talk to me about therapy or other options of like coping or like coping mechanisms to deal with depression. He just basically told me he had a medicine that was going to help me and put me on Lexapro. He didn't go over any of the side effects, the risks, how long I was going to be on it, if it was going to be hard to come off of, nothing like that. And of course, me being me, young and not knowing any better, I put all my faith and my trust into this doctor and didn't ask questions. I just assumed that he was, giving me something that was going to help. And so I started out at I want to say 2.5 milligrams, which it doesn't, so I had to split it in the beginning, but gradually worked my way up to 20 milligrams. And it did help me. It helped with my depression. I was doing very well there. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't, any of that stuff. I did notice that it just completely blunted my emotions, so I wasn't able to cry. I wasn't able to really fully feel things. But at the time I was like, well, that's kind of welcome because I'm tired of overly feeling everything and not knowing how to deal with it. So I have also had thyroid issues since I graduated from high school. I've always had hypothyroidism. I've been taking meds for that since basically I was 20. And then I had my son in 2022, and I discovered later that year that I have lupus. So that has been interesting. But the Lexapro was working. There was no issues with me. As far as mental health, I was doing great. We ended up moving to Idaho in 2023. Towards the end of 2023, I saw a new psychiatrist just to establish myself with one here. And he decided to introduce Wellbutrin to Lexapro, which I was already taking. I took that for about a week, and it just made me feel really weird. I didn't like how it made me feel, so I stopped taking it. That was the end of November of that year. Around December 13th, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I just had a pounding heart. I thought I was having a heart attack. And then I went to the ER because I genuinely thought like I was having a heart attack. I couldn't stop moving my legs, which I now know is akathisia. And it's like my whole nervous system was just thrown off, and it was horrible. I've never felt like that before in my life. I've never had like panic attacks like that before, so intense. And it just lingered, like it wasn't going away. So that is kind of a little bit of my history leading up to when I started to get off or try to get off of Lexapro. This is part one, and I'll make a part two soon. So, thanks.